I'm live. Okay. Okay. Right. So, Tommy Robinson, the founding member of the EDL, racist, fascist, um, anti-Islam activist, person who thinks that the world's problems would be fixed if one group of people were removed. So he's out of jail, I think on bail. He's just been appointed as paedophile advisor to UKIP, I believe. Which is pretty dangerous because that brings him close to an actual electoral party, which brings him somewhere near to politics, which is a concern. So he's part of or organising or involved with a demonstration on Saturday the 9th of December, and he is, well, the demonstration is roughly based around opposing Theresa May's Brexit deal. And I think this is a move by Tommy Robinson, now part of UKIP, not officially a member of the party, but an appointed advisor, to try and lead the Brexit supporters, which is, a drag to the right, basically. I mean, Brexit was um, not left or right. Brexit was, a very mixed bag, completely different opinions, one way or the other, with regards to which was the best option to go for. Um, but Tommy Robinson and UKIP and a lot of the further to the right politicians tried to make it about immigration, tried to make it about race, and tried to make it about um, I essentially tried to use it to um, instill the existing programs that they had against immigration and to further increase xenophobia, Islamophobia, and all of the scapegoats that they're using to justify the financial crisis. Um, so thankfully, there has been called by Stand Up to Racism and a cacophony of other groups have called a counter demonstration, which would be excellent. If we can outnumber the people, having been on a few anti-Tommy Robinson demonstrations as far back as the time when the EDL tried to march through Tower Hamlets, where we opposed them there, stopped them from marching, which was one of the falling moments for the EDL. They sort of collapsed after that and lost their confidence and lost a lot of the hangers-on who weren't part of the sort of really racist Nazi core of the EDL. But those forces seem to be rallying again behind Tommy Robinson. What is concerning, however, though, is that there has been two counter demonstrations called. One of them at Parliament Square, and one of them at Downing Street. So I'm assuming because Stand Up to Racism and Unite Against Fascism are normally the front line. They're normally pretty much the majority of the organisation, or the organising of anti-fascist demonstration normally falls to them. However, there seems to be a collection of other groups, including Momentum, involved with a demonstration that's on the same day at the same time. But this is as opposed to Downing Street, which is the Stand Up to Racism one. This one is in Parliament Square. I mean, all those forces that are involved with organising the second one. So what have you got? Like another Europe as possible. Okay, so they're more involved with the remaining in the European Union, which I don't think we should divide people with regards to Brexit supporters and Remainers when it comes to fighting fascism. I feel like there's people that are against fascism that on both sides. So actually, if people involved with the Remain campaign are involved with this second demonstration, they're essentially dividing the anti-fascism force, which will weaken our ability to fight fascism. Also, you've got Owen Jones. I mean, he's sort of a well-known flip-flopper, jumped from leaving the European Union to remaining European Union, jumped from supporting Jeremy Corbyn to not supporting Jeremy Corbyn and back again. I mean, so if he's involved with a movement to try and separate anti-fascist forces, I'm not as surprised. It's unfortunate, though. This is an absolute disgrace. This is a mistake. and we need to bring these two movements together. We need to march together. So, regardless of these forces that are trying to lead it one way or the other, if you are for leaving the European Union and against fascism, you should entirely join the demonstration on Downing Street. I mean, I'm hoping the demonstration against Tommy Robinson and against the fascists will be so big that it will take up Parliament Square and Downing Street, and we'll just have one mass of people against fascism. That would be good. But come and join the demonstration at Downing Street. Don't be divided. Don't pick one side or the other. Um, if you wanted to stay in the European Union, put aside your differences with people that want to leave the European Union for the greater good against fascism. Let's be honest, the European Union vote, it was about economic factors, sovereignty, a cacophony of other issues that weren't necessarily based around immigration, even though the mainstream press and a lot of the major right-wing politicians, as I said, tried to make it about immigration. Just a little bit more about that. So immigration has been used as a scapegoat by UKIP in the past 5-6 years since they've been hanging around in mainstream politics. But before that, it's also been as a scapegoat since the 2008 financial crisis, where the blame for the poverty that then ensued was squarely placed on the banks and bad management by politicians, both in the new Labour government and then the Conservative and Liberal Democrat government to follow, where austerity measures were put down to try and pay off the deficit, which has actually increased under those governments. Um, the blame, but there was a lot of work put in by mainstream media and the politicians to shift the blame away from the banks and away from themselves, and instead to blame immigration, which is something that under um, a austerity or a depression economy is not needed as much for the wheels of capitalism to keep turning in this country. But however, people's right to move around from one piece of land to the next shouldn't really be to blame for the misgivings and the ill deeds of consecutive terrible neoliberal governments. So I think I've spoken for a while now, so I'll leave it at that. Um, However, please come to the demonstration. Please oppose Tommy Robinson. The guy's got no answers at all. He hasn't got a clue. All he has is hate and anger. And a lot of people who have a lot of hate and who are angry are tricked to his side by the simplifying of politics and the shifting of blame onto immigration, onto Muslims and people of other faiths, instead of placing the blame where it should be, which is on the government, consecutively terrible governments with similar strategies of privatizing services, lowering investment in public services, um, and essentially passing the problems of the rich onto the poor and making us even poorer, pushing down wages and trying to pit us against each other. That's where you should be placing the blame, and we should be forming unions. We should be protesting against austerity. We should be writing to our local MPs and telling them to not push through cuts, to nationalise the railway, to nationalise the gas services, the water services, to bring it out of the money grabbing profits focused bosses that run them at the moment at a loss for the public and at a gain to their own pockets. It's not a good way to run society. Oppose Tommy Robinson. Please come to the demonstration on the 9th, Saturday night. We must come to the demonstration. Forget about Brexit. This is bigger than Brexit. This is against fascism. This is against racism. And essentially, this is about saving our economy and saving our people, the people of the world, from division and hatred. And yeah, don't join one demonstration or the other. I'd say come to Downing Street if you can, and if you are part of the other demonstration, try and bring them to Downing Street. Let's all unite as one group of anti-fascists and show them that we are the many and they are the few, and that we are diverse, we are the working class, and we will not be defeated and we will not be divided. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.